Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome. A lot has happened over the last couple of days, so I gotta fill you guys in. Before we dive into this confused roller coaster ride of emotional and market uncertainty, I have a very exciting announcement. I now offer channel memberships. If you join, you will be a part of the Slayer Elite. This comes with members only giveaways, a custom badge next to your name so when you comment on my videos, you stand out. And when you join, I will give you a shout out in the next video I post. So, without further ado, this is Silver Slayer, and welcome to my channel. Now, today's going to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. You definitely want to stick around. We got a couple different things we're going to go over. First and foremost, Robert Legel and Donnie Poole, welcome to the Slayer Elite. Now, look at this stuff. They are suggesting gold to be around $2,300 and silver to surpass $30 in 2021. Now, these are some very critical numbers to look at for several different reasons. First and foremost, that would be the all-time highest price gold has ever been in the past 5,000 years. So what would that do to gold's price? B, what would that do to silver's price? And C, what would be the factors? What would be the influence? What would be the motive to drive prices that high? Would it be more financial? Would it be more industrial? Would it be more of the investors, right? I mean, there's so many different things affecting the price of gold and silver. It's hard to say which factor has more pull than another, especially since times are adapting, right? The markets are ever changing. What used to influence silver's price in X amount of percent is a lot different than today. That's why you can't invest with the same perspective, the same strategy as you did, 20 years ago. You got to learn how to adjust and adapt. So with that said, we're looking forwards, looking into next year, knowing how much different things are going to be even compared to today. Right? Not even looking 20 years, like I was just talking about, even in a year from now, things change so fast because the things are so much more severe today. So we have some very insightful stuff, and I hope, I read a little bit into this. I don't like reading too much because I kind of want you guys to get my real reaction to what I'm reading this with you guys instead of kind of like fake going over something that I read. So hopefully they do go over some of the points that I was just talking about, because that's what this article should be about. I mean, I can't really tell someone how what they should be talking about, but I do hope, I guess I should word this better. I really do hope they cover these prices, because if you're going to say these prices, you got to explain why, right? I could say $100 silver all day, but if I don't give reasons why, then my point really doesn't have much much subject matter. It doesn't really have much of a believable aspect. So we're going to go over this. This video, or the article, is pretty short. So if we have time, we're going to go over another article. It's kind of switching the page, flipping the script a little bit. So I might turn this into a second video, but regardless, you're going to want to stay tuned today because I got a lot of good stuff coming. Thank you guys for everyone that understood why I didn't make a video yesterday. It's the first time I didn't make a video in a day for a long time. I always post daily videos. So I thank you guys for understanding. But anyways, link to this article is in the description. So 2020 has been a historic year for gold and silver as unprecedented stimulus measures around the world were unleashed on financial markets. One firm is calling for higher prices next year, and that's obviously expected since we know what's going to happen to the dollar. Since we know that elites are already looking, and I'm probably going to make a video on this separately, Junius Maltby, which is my favorite silver stacking channel, he made a video about this. It's like a 30-minute long video talking about how the elites are already planning a new type of currency to replace the US dollar. Now, that's crazy. That is crazy news. That's probably the most important news that I've heard, even through the vaccines, the pandemic, all of this. That's going to be a game changer. So I'm really excited. I've kind of saved that video off a little bit. I want to build some anticipation. I really want to understand what's happening with that, because that's not a type of thing you could just throw out there and kind of get the gist of. You got to understand it, right? So anyways, In its 2021 outlook, analysts at the UK research firm Metals Focus said they expect gold prices to push to $2,300 an ounce next year. Meanwhile, silver prices are expected to average the year around $28.60 as it pushes to a high of $30. Now, here's the thing. $30 silver's at a very strong resistance level. And I say that for this reason and this reason only. In August, when we saw silver skyrocket from $11 in March, it stuck at 30 and would not budge. So there's a lot of resistance at 30. So this is going to mean two things, or one of two things. If it takes off above 30, it's going to go way into overbought territory. Way overbought. And it's probably going to jump to around 40, maybe even $45 if it breaks through 30, because everyone's going to hear about it. Mainstream media, your friends, your family, news outlets, your dog, everyone's going to be trying to get a slice of the silver pie. Kind of like when Bitcoin broke past $10,000 a couple of years ago. Then it shot up to like $18,000 in a matter of like a month or two. And that's because once it breaks past such a critical resistance level, everyone tries to buy it. And then what happens is it's very that price that high is very short-lived, because then everyone starts selling it because they know that there's about to be a correction, which is actually healthy. The price needs to go down for it to go back up. You never want a price to just keep going up, because then, if it goes up, 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 then it's going to crash, crash, crash. So it's definitely one of those things that you got to know when to sell. You got to know when to buy. You can't just, and that's why I say you got to watch my videos. When I'm telling you guys to subscribe, I'm not saying it for my sake. I'm saying it for your sake. And I truly mean that. You got to know what's happening on a day-to-day basis. You have to understand, what the markets are doing, why the prices are like that, and what you should do about it. You cannot be blindly investing and expect success. And I'm going to give you guys that content. I'm going to give you guys that daily dose, that inside scoop. So the comments come as gold and silver have pushed off critical support levels after dismissal November performances. December gold futures last traded at $1,843 an ounce, up 0.73% on the day. Meanwhile, March silver futures last traded at $24 an ounce, up 23% on the day. So, these short-term numbers, they're going to be ups and downs. They're going to be ups, downs, lefts, rights, medium, sideways. It's going to be crazy, and that's expected because times are crazy. There's going to be a roller coaster ride of prices because there's a roller coaster ride of emotions. Unstable prices because people are unstable. The short term could do a lot of different things, but it's honestly irrelevant if you understand silver's true value. Anyone who's looking at prices right now and saying, it's a little risky, or silver and gold's a little risky right now, right? The prices aren't showing much bullish potential. You guys are missing the entire point. Because if you're trying to compare, a nickel to a penny to a dime, when we're talking about physical dollars, there's just no correlation that could explain how you can get from a nickel to a dollar. Anytime someone tries to tell you that precious metals is a bad investment, ask them why. And if they bring up, listen, seriously, ask someone. If this has happened to me before, because someone was saying, you're better off investing in the stocks. It's safer than precious metals. And I said, why? And he was giving me a couple reasons of why stocks have value. But he totally missed the whole point, because he didn't mention the stimulus is going out. He didn't mention the silver shortage. He didn't mention how weak the dollar was. See, he's living in this fantasy of just what stocks could do. Living in a fantasy. He's living in the hope, the I hope this happens. But that's going off, that's gambling. That's gambling. If you are a realist like me, if you look at things realistically and look at what's actually happening, not hoping what's going to happen, what's actually happening, and then you can incorporate that with, how that affects the price of something, you can clearly see that precious metal is going to come out on top regardless. So there's too much evidence to say anything otherwise. If you are going to sit here and tell me that precious metals is a bear market and will be bearish for the next 3, 5, 10 years, then you just don't understand investing. You have to acknowledge this if you understand economics and if you understand how our financial system runs, right? So the precious metals have come under significant pressure recently as investors revisit cyclical stocks after news of vaccines started to come through, said Niels Meter, director of gold and silver metals focus in the report. But we doubt whether this will be sustained. It will take time for the vaccine to be widely deployed. And that's the thing. People are living this like euphoric delusion where they think since there's a vaccine that came out that everything's going to be better overnight. And by the time that this vaccine's put out, things are going to be so much worse that the vaccine will be the last thing on people's minds. Because we're talking about throwing out trillions of dollars by then. And by the way, guys, I don't think that I don't know if you're a mathematician or not, but I don't think the human brain can fathom how much bigger of a number trillions is than billions. I don't think people can honestly, I don't think the human brain in general can fathom how much bigger $1 trillion is than a billion. We're throwing out trillions nowadays. Back in the 2008 credit crisis that led to $50 silver was billions of dollars. This is trillions. And the dollar's already on its last leg. Things are going to be much, much worse. Plus, we have a global pandemic, right? A silver shortage, a massively rising demand. Things are going to get messy. Very, very, very messy, and a lot sooner. This pandemic just sped up things times 10, right? I mean, even if the pandemic wasn't happening, we would still be having this conversation right now. It would just be in like 5, 6, 7 years from now. But now we're talking about 1 or 2 years max. So things are a lot more severe, and we got to be on our A game. So the analysts at Metals Focus said the gold market will continue to benefit from further stimulus measures, what I was kind of just talking about. Low bond yields and rising inflation pressure. Low yields benefit gold from the minimal opportunity cost holding the metal. This also limits the bond market's ability to act as a hedge against equity price corrections. At the same time, the firm also sees potential for gold's safe haven allure to attract investors. In times of economic uncertainty, people invest in the precious metals, and once they see this happening, once they see the dollar declining, once they see what's about to happen when stimulus gets thrown out, they're going to head towards precious metals. They don't know it yet because they think things are about to get better, but they're oblivious. Most people don't even know that America's in debt. Right, so once the signs start to show, once the reality starts to leak through, that's when people are going to get in panic mode. That's why I try to make these videos to warn people, because if I could warn you, if you can watch one of my videos, and hear about what's happening, if you've never known about it, imagine someone who thinks America's the richest, doesn't know about debt, doesn't know anything about economics, and they watch one of my videos. Imagine by the end of the video how mind blown they would be. Imagine getting all this information at once in a 15-minute long video. After the video, you would be so confused, but at least you have a chance now. Because before you watch this video, you would never have a chance, because who's randomly going to have a whole bunch of gold and silver stacked up? Nobody. Now at least this person knows they have a chance to preserve their wealth. So I'm trying to give people opportunity and chances, because most people don't even get that chance. We are the 1%. Literally 1% of people in the population own precious metals. We are that 1%. So you are lucky, and and we're smart. We're very smart. We get it. Most people don't get it. So they look at, the analysts see platinum averaging around $1,000 an ounce. They see prices pushing around $3,000 next year. They're talking about the gold. Oh, this is good right here. So once gold rally resumes, tactical buying will help fuel further price gains for silver. This should help silver outperform gold, which we believe the gold to silver ratio will continue to fall. This is something a lot of people sweep under the radar. Gold to silver ratio is the best tool to see whether silver or gold is the better investment at that period of time. When the ratio was 125 to 1 in March, that meant that was this cheapest silver has ever been compared to gold. The cheapest. So we could look at that and say, man, that means silver is extremely undervalued, so I might as well buy silver right then. It was at $11, so heck yeah. Who wouldn't buy $11 silver knowing that it's going to be back up in a couple months? Now, and that's way too exaggerated. It's overly exaggerated, so we knew the ratio was going to go back down. Now I think it's around 80 to 1. But it has room to go lower. Historically, the ratio is around 16 to 1. Nowadays, it's around 75 to 1. But I definitely think it could correct back lower to that 16 20-to-1 level, meaning silver would drastically outperform gold. So anyways, there's a lot that we talked about in this video. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, right? There's so many different things that we could go over. Hopefully this video captured the reality of $30 silver in 2021, and also what gold could do and how they could be directly correlated, especially with this environment, with the environment that's coming up, that's right around the corner. So anyways, I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. Definitely like the video, but you got to be subscribed. I post 2 videos every single day. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.